Hello and welcome. I'm Knight's Angel, and this is just a Folf on the road. Thank you for joining me. Well, as you guys all know, I have a hard time coming up with ideas for this video. Well, for these videos. But thinking about it, traffic. No, that's not the topic. I bring it up periodically, but I don't really discuss it, and so I thought one of my many hobbies, is writing. So I actually thought, okay, do a video on about writing. Okay. So here we go. Criminy. Anyway, my whole thing is, and let me get that. Oh, criminy. Do it that way. That way you guys don't have to deal with the glare from my big forehead. Well, writing's one of my hobbies because I enjoy storytelling. Sometimes I don't have the best stories or even a decent story, but I like telling stories. And yes, I'm having to compete with traffic. So if I time it right, I'll be talking between cars. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. But we'll see. I can at least tell when they're coming from one direction, not the other. I mean, if I was going to do that, I'd have to like turn the phone like that. That way I can actually see them coming. That way you guys know what I'm dealing with, but I'm trying to minimize the open background because it's like not everybody wants to be on camera. Anyway. I probably have a very, very weird writing method. It's structured, but it's not. I'll put some things down, like character graphs and stuff, like a basic bio. And I still have to go through and actually flush those out so I have a better idea of what I'm working with. But generally, I don't do a whole lot of world building in that regard. I don't really set things up. Personally, I write more fantasy-based. And at least one of my stories uses what's referred to as a soft magic system. I wouldn't put it at the extreme of it where it's like a wizard did it. But it's set up to where you don't need to know how all the fundamentals work. Because usually I explain, okay, with this kind of magic, it's done like this. I mean, probably the most complex story I've written is A Beast Called Nightmare, where, to explain some of the extravagance of it, it's the stronger the entity, the more power, the more magic they can use freely. pretty much it equates to the cost of performing it. One of the characters is a 12-year-old witch, but she can perform some high-level magic, but because she doesn't have the complete training, pretty much she's inexperienced. So the first time she used that level of magic, it almost killed her. But as the story progresses, she starts developing her magic. She starts understanding it and can actually perform more complex magic. Like doing a complete overhaul on a person. Like a full body recovery from every injury they've ever sustained. That's high-level complex magic. Now, see, one of the reasons why I do actually prefer writing fantasy is my own personal belief system. I'm a spiritualist. I don't follow a particular doctrine, but I do comprehend it. I abide by what I call the laws of chaos. But that's a completely different thing, and if you want to hear about it, let me know. Because it gets really complex. Well, it's not complex per se, but it's mind-boggling. But anyway, a lot of it is, and I show later on in the story just how complex this magic is, because they do go back to a point where the magic that nearly killed, to where she performed this magic, this high-level summoning, and did it again, but in a different way. Because at that point, she had access to other high-level beings that took on the burden of powering her. That pretty much, the way I can easily explain the magic system is a caster can use magic freely, without restrictions, in the confines of they are limited to how powerful they are, how much magical energy they can produce, their training and skill level. Like, a natural prodigy can perform high-level magic with requiring very little training. But if they don't have the energy to back it up, it's going to fail. So when you have characters who, so pretty much the confines is the more training, the more practice, and the more power you have, the more magic you can do. And I have another character, pretty much the lead character, who is not a caster, who's not a spellcaster. He doesn't perform magic like anybody else. What it is he has an enchantment on his hand. Pretty much he was given a spell that in of itself is just a focal point. So all he's doing is channeling energy through it and using a command term or a command word. Pretty much, you can say it's magic, you can say it's casting to a degree, because Okay, channel the energy, say a word. And poof, result. So, yeah. And pretty much the way I explain all this throughout the story. I try and avoid the amateur mistakes. I probably make them, I probably overlook a lot of them, but it is what it is. Of course, I'm actually hoping I don't make too many of them, or the ones I do make just work out. But it's actually kind of funny. It's the way I wrote The Beast Called Nightmare is the story does not revolve around the entity known as Nightmare. He's there. He puts his two cents in a lot, but it doesn't focus on him. And that's simply because in the confines of this world, he's too powerful. He can perform magic at will. He just has to think it and it's done. That's how powerful he is. But he's not mortal. He's a higher entity. The same as his two brothers. If you don't understand, if this is too complex, you can find the story on So Furry or Fur Affinity, and you can read it for yourself. You can give me whatever feedback you want. I'm open to it. Just let me know. And yeah, I'm really going on about this. 10 minutes, almost 12 minutes of yammering. But I'm still developing as a writer. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was a lot of writers use visual references to help them develop their story or get an idea of what characters look like. I'm a decent artist, but my work is flat. And what I mean by that is it looks flat. There's like no depth to it, in the sense of I can draw things in the background and in the foreground, but it looks like you would see in some of the older games where you have an object in the foreground and in the background, but the object in the foreground is flat and the background is just, well, a background. There's nothing there till you actually get up to it. So, but I actually know where the problem with that is. It is actually really hot out. That's why I'm rubbing my face so much. Sorry. And doing all this complex thinking. So. And it's not so much hot, I'm heating up. Because I'm weird and for whatever reason I just seem to be somewhat semi-cold-blooded, where the more active I am, the hotter I get. Temperature-wise. I personally don't think I'm that attractive. But anyway. But I know where this problem comes from. Perspective-wise, you can say I'm half blind. One of my eyes doesn't work properly. And this actually goes into some minor brain damage I have. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it brain damage, but, you know, whatever. I have a perception impairment. I have a perception impairment. It just means that there are connections in my brain that don't work. Or I'm missing those connections. So I have to do a lot of jumping around to make it work. One of them is, as easily as I am conveying my thoughts and ideas to you right now, I have a hard time doing that by putting pen to paper. Or typing, if you will. I mean, it's just one of those things. I have a hard time doing it. Excuse me. But I've been working at this for a long time and gotten to the point where it's fairly easy for me to bypass it, but it's still there. So, wow, covered like 5 different topics at once, or in one video. It's cloudy, but it's bright. Mind you, I'm doing all this on the fly. I'm doing all this off of a smartphone, so otherwise I'd have visual references and things like that. But then again, I'm pretty much going to upload this as soon as I'm done recording. So, but anyway, almost 20 minutes, so let's go ahead and close it out. If you want to hear more about this, let me know. You know, the buttons, push them. You know, boink, 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 boink. Boink, 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 boink. In whatever order you want. However you feel like doing it, if you want to do it at all. I know I'm going to get more views on Furry Amino, so guys, if you could, help me out a little bit. Pop onto my channel. It's not hard to find. If you're watching the video, there's a link to it, so just pop on over and just kind of help me out a little bit. I mean, I want to at least know that somebody's watching, or at least has watched it. But anyway, whew. Push the buttons however you feel like it. Let's see if I can do this in one breath. Leave your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, ideas, insults, and what have you down in the comment section below. Okay, that wasn't so hard. And until next time, I'm Night's Angel. This has been just a Folf on the road. Thank you for joining me. And as always, I hope you have a better day. Yes, you. And you too. And the cat. Don't give me that look. I'm wishing you a better day. Peace.